Welcome to the Newsome MMA Podcast, partnered with Heavy Duty Fight Management. I'm your host, Jon Prentice, and today I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by none other than UFC Middleweight standout, Zak Cummings. Now, Zak recently competed in Rochester, New York on May the 18th, where he defeated a dangerous Trevin Giles via submission in round 3. Zak, thank you for joining me. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I am great. Thank you very much for having me on.
The pleasure is all mine. Now, first and foremost, congratulations on the win. A couple of weeks have passed now. A fantastic victory for you, a fantastic performance. Have you had a chance to look back, watch the tape, and what did you make of it all?
I finally sat back and rewatched it. Definitely saw some positives and negatives. Always have to take something to learn from it. But yeah, there was definitely some things I did well, and there's things that after rewatching it, things that I wish I would have done more of or slightly differently. But for the most part, man, he was a tough puzzle to crack, and he had a really good range, and I knew he was going to have a lot of speed. So it just kind of took me a little bit to get to him, but eventually we cut him off and kind of made a little dogfight and pulled out the guns, and I won. So it's one of those where it just took me a little bit to find that range, get in, and try to counter his counters and everything. So it just took some time, but ultimately we got the shot to put him down and hit him again, and then went ahead and just jumped in for a quick guillotine and called it a night.
Exactly. I mean, were you troubled at any point in the fight? Because, like you say, he had really good range, good speed. He hits hard. He is a tough puzzle to crack. I mean, did you feel in danger at any point? 'Cause, I mean, you like you say, cracking that puzzle was the difficult part, but you didn't really look in any danger throughout the fight. I mean, how did you feel when you were in there with him?
No, I mean, I never felt danger at all. I mean, I felt like I saw pretty much everything coming. Uh, you know, the eye got some damage from some glancing blows. He landed a couple solid shots, but like there was nothing that rattled me or really bothered me at all. I was a little nervous about the cut getting bigger and just a doctor stopping. That was anytime a cut happens, you have to worry about that. But that punch kind of glanced off, and then I saw some drops of blood coming in my eye, and I was like, oh well, all right, guess that opened me up. But yeah, no time I was really in danger. In my mind, I just kind of was having issues closing the distance, getting close enough to land my own offense and stuff. So it was kind of, he did a really good job of keeping his range, but he was so far out of range that I could see him coming in for the most part. So it was kind of a double-edged sword for him doing that. But yes, I never really felt in danger, but I never felt like I could kind of get much going either. And then I just kind of had to changed my mindset a little bit in that third round. I thought I was winning, but I knew it was close, so I didn't want to. I'm always going for a finish, anyways.
Excellent. I mean, have you had a chance to celebrate the victory yet? Have you done anything in particular to celebrate, or is it just back to the grind and back training?
No, I'm just kind of. Well, I mean, I guess not much celebration. I definitely celebrated hung out with some friends and the teammates and everybody that night after the fight. And then the next day I went and did some sightseeing, went and saw Niagara Falls, and kind of enjoyed some time with some friends and my wife. But the day I came home, I actually had to go straight to the emergency room for my daughter. She had she had an infection, so I had to. I mean, I went to the ER I think 3 times in that first week I got back. So yeah, like when it comes to having other responsibilities and being a daddy and all that stuff, there's no that life really doesn't matter, what you just did. If you just won a big fight or not, like I had to go right back into responsibility mode and take care of her. And but it's great. I mean, I kept her home from daycare for the couple of days that she does go, so I got the entire week with her. And so I mean, that's always a celebration in my eyes. So I just got to spend time with family and relax. And we got these stitches taken out, so now it's time to get back to the grind.
Excellent. And And as you've mentioned it, I have to ask you. You're a father now. You have your daughter. We've seen a lot recently in the sport about guys who have got this extra drive. I mean, Donald Cerrone is the one that springs to a lot of people's minds straight away. He's had his child, and he seems to have a new lease of life in the octagon. And Uriah Faber was talking the other day as well. He's just had a child, and he's getting back in there. I mean, is that the same for you? Does having a child kind of put things into a whole different perspective in the sport and give you a new drive and a new focus?
Yeah, it's hard for me to answer that. I don't know. It's one of those where, like, I've never fought for anybody else but myself.
Yeah,
I don't. This is a very selfish sport, and it takes time. You're sacrificing time. You're sacrificing your body, your emotional well-being. I mean, everything. So it's I don't know. I've always kind of called bullshit on all those people that are like, oh, I fight for this. I fight. I do this for my family and this and this. It's like, man, if it really was trying to do, like, I don't know, do the right thing for your family and make the money, like, dude, you got to do what you got to do to make sure that they're surviving, they're doing fine, and then the competition side will come later. So
yeah,
it's not like I don't know, maybe it opened my eyes a little bit of like, hey, I'm not going to be doing this forever. So let's enjoy and do the, just kind of take it all in, I guess, however many I have left, so it's like, I know that I'm not going to be fighting forever. And I want to use this time to do what I could do in this sport. So then once I walk away from it, I'll be fine. I'll be happy. And hopefully I, leave something for my daughter. I can use the money to invest in her future and make our lives better and stuff. But when it comes down to it, it's all for me in there. It's a competition and a drive that I have. I mean, I make money in other ways as well, so I could take care of my family in other ways. But the fighting's definitely kind of a selfish aspect of my life.
Excellent. Now, this is your second successive win since you moved up to middleweight. I mean, just how much of a difference has it made to you moving up in weight classes, and how hard was that cut for you to get to welterweight?
Well, the cut was ridiculous. Man, I walk pretty heavy, and it's not like I'm just straight fat kid. I'm just naturally like a thick guy, and it's hard for me to walk, at a lower weight now. Yeah. But I don't know, like I was good at cutting weight. I was able to do it, and I don't know, whatever. If I had this weird advantage being in there, which, I mean, honestly, I don't know how much advantage it was, because I felt like I was fighting at 60% of my potential, probably, just the way my body felt.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cut was crazy. It was, the more I look back at it, it was so dumb. So middleweight definitely is better. I feel like I still have to cut a little bit, but the recovery, I can have a full recovery by the time it's fight time.
Yeah.
And I feel fast. I feel just as strong and powerful, but I feel like I have my legs under me, and I have a little extra step in my with my legs. That's a little more explosion, a little more speed and stuff. At 70, I felt so, like, just heavy, and I mean, I always felt strong, but like I just felt super heavy, and like it was hard for me to keep up with the speed aspect at that weight class.
Excellent. I mean, as I mentioned, this is now back-to-back wins for you at middleweight. You've won 4 of your last 5. I mean, where do you go from here? Do you have any guys in mind? Do you have a time scale for your next fight?
I mean, my wife has a few things planned with her job. She has some conferences and stuff like that she has to go to. So it would be hard and selfish of me to try to take something really quick.
Yeah.
Just because I go to Denver and I travel a little bit to train. So it just kind of would be unfair. So I mean, August would be really nice if it works out, which would be kind of perfect timing. So August, early September, I think. I would like to get 2 more fights in this year. So however I got to do to make that work. But yeah, I don't know. I feel good. It's nice getting two wins in a row. Especially, I feel like I get it was like a new start with this weight class.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of starting over in the division, and yeah, I don't know. I think I got a little hype behind me now, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, my guess is I'm hoping I'm sitting right outside the top 15. So if I get someone that's right there with me and whatever, if I get someone in the top 15, I'm ready for all takers. Obviously, if I can get someone with a number next to their name, I'm all for it because that's where I want to be. So if I can take one of those guys out, then that definitely helps my case.
Excellent. Now, as I mentioned, your last fight was in Rochester, New York, but you're a guy who's fought all over the world. I mean, when you look through your fight history, you fought in Chile, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Croatia, and a funny story for the listeners. I was actually at the event in Croatia, and we bumped into each other in the middle of like 10,000 acres of national park after the fights, and yeah. Obviously, we're an English-based website, English-based podcast. Have you got any plans to come over here to England and fight in front of your English fans? Obviously, you fought in the UK and Northern Ireland, but England specifically, man, are you going to come over here? Any plans?
Man, if they offer me, I'm jumping in a heartbeat. I love traveling. I love visiting new countries, new cultures. I always try to stay after the fight a little bit, and travel around. Obviously, like we ran into each other. Yeah, it's just something that I get to do things that I never knew I would ever be able to do growing up. I didn't come from much. My mom worked her ass off to for me to be able to kind of grow up and live. And it's not like I was terribly poor, but like I never had anything extra ever. I had the basics, and that was about it. So I never really knew I was gonna be able to travel the world and see all these places and become a little more well cultured and stuff with meeting people all over. So I love taking fights overseas and everything, and I've got some good friends over in the UK, and I'd love to be able to spend more time and visit with them and everything. So I've had a couple layovers there, and that's about it. So I would love to go to England and go to the UK and be able to perform for everybody there. I feel like I have a decent sized fan base with all the fights I've had over on that side of the world. Yeah. So I'm in. If there's something coming up in my time frame, I'm all over it.
Excellent, man. We're going to have to get onto the UFC at our end as well, and tell them that England wants Zak Cummings over here.
Oh, for sure.
Now, you're part of the Glory MMA family. Obviously, relatively recently moved into a new facility. You're a coach there. I mean, what's it like to be part of that fantastic team? You've got the likes of yourself, James Krause, Megan Anderson, Grant Dawson coming up as well. I mean, just what's it like to be part of that family there at Glory?
Man, it's such a cool team, and just a different type of gym. Man, I feel like a lot of these big gyms that are putting out all these big UFC guys are mainly they're almost destination gyms. It's a lot of these guys are already pretty good. They're already in there, and then they travel to these camps. And, which are Florida, California, all these real nice, pretty places and stuff. And, we're right in the middle of Tornado Alley in Kansas City, Missouri, and it's one of those where, it's not a destination, it's not a spot, but having the people that we have, we just put our head down, we put in the work, we're always, we might just be some country folk or whatever, but I feel like between me and Krause, we try our best to stay on the new age of the sport and the way it evolves and kind of blending all the martial arts together, and not just the days of just having a boxing practice and a wrestling practice and a jiu-jitsu practice. Like those days are over, and you have to be able to blend it all together. And I feel like we both do a really good job at that. like we had our gym and everything, and then I was ready to kind of do something on my own. We had a great opportunity, so I opened up our second location that I own. So this is our 5th year being open, so it's kind of cool having since I'm like the newer gym.
Yeah.
I've got tons of amateurs that are coming up. They're just getting better and better every day. But I had a couple of them turn pro and have done well. So it's really cool. It's really cool to whenever I moved to Kansas City and me and James Krause kind of got together and put our heads together, and we're very, very similar and different where we mesh very well.
Yeah.
Where like, man, stuff that I had benefited him, stuff that he had benefited me, and then we both had the same mindset of the business aspects of like how gym should run and stuff like that. So like they're very family friendly, and not just filled with all these fighters, but we also like breed some savages here. So it's a really cool, yeah. It's a cool culture we have in here.
Excellent. I mean, as you mentioned, you're training a lot of amateur fighters, and I see a lot on social media. You coaching youngsters and kids and things like that. I mean, how much do you enjoy passing on your knowledge to others? And what advice, as an excellent advocate, the way that you train yourself and the way you present yourself? I mean, what advice do you have for younger fighters coming through in this sport?
And I love sharing knowledge. It's something that I feel like I've done it my whole life. I've kind of been a natural born leader, I guess, if you want to say that they're naturally born, whatever. Like, even in like, whenever I was a young kid playing in sports, I was always the one like trying to help the teammates out and stuff and tell them where to go. I was always like more of a leader of the team in all my sports that I've done. Same thing. I was like a football captain in high school and college. I was whatever the team picked, team voted captain for the college wrestling team. So it was it's just kind of feel like been in my blood my whole life. So I love kind of being one of those guys that people look up to and look towards. But there's a lot of responsibility with that. You have to man, people are always looking to catch you slipping and stuff, but you can't but you also can't act like everything. The coaches that I see that's like it's their way or that's it, and like they know everything, like I shut out. I quit listening right then, because you have to be able to continue to learn even as a coach. The day you stop learning, you should just quit. So and then with the younger fighters, I just take your time, put your head down, do the work. And it's just everybody wants that quick. They want the success immediately. It's a huge problem, man. Whenever I was in this sport and still 7, 8, 9 pro fights in, being undefeated, I didn't even know how you got to the UFC. I didn't even know someone who had like the contact of someone in the UFC. So it's just crazy to think about. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm that dude back in my day and stuff, but man, like sometimes you just have to put your head down, put the work in, and if you earn it, you'll earn it. You can't just be in a gym next to someone who's doing good things and think you deserve it too. So trust the process, never stop learning, and just just put in the work, put in the time.
Excellent. So would you say it's safe to say when you decide to call time on your career in the octagon that you'll be sticking with the sport and continuing as a coach for many years to come?
Absolutely. I will. I don't think I'll ever stop coaching. I love the sport. I love sharing knowledge. I love seeing the growth of everybody else. Man, there's these people walk in this gym and whatever background they come from, they all kind of start over here. So seeing this sport change people's lives has been super important to me, and I don't think I'll ever want to let that go.
Excellent. Now, finally, before I let you go and start to enjoy your weekend, do you have any final messages to your fans, especially here in the UK? Any sponsors or anything like that you want to shout out? I mean, now's your opportunity. The floor's yours.
Oh man, yeah, just follow me on social media. At Zak Cummings, pretty much across the board. Shoot me a message. Ask me any questions you guys want. I'm always there, willing to answer anything. I'm never too good to talk to anybody. And especially it's pretty cool. This little country boy from middle of nowhere in Missouri having fans all the way across the world means so much to me. So thank you guys so much for your support all the way over in England. Hopefully I could be back there in that area soon and put on a show for you guys. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Zak Cummings. Really appreciate you taking the time to speak to us, and we really look forward to seeing when you next get in the octagon. And like you say, hopefully we'll see you over here a bit closer to our shores in the near future. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.